Pastor Roy Gerhart from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. You know that it can be as difficult and challenging to follow the Lord faithfully when things are going good as when they're going bad. I've seen people fall away from God because they went through a crisis. Things went very badly in their lives and they lost hope. They were so disappointed in the position that they found themselves in that they felt abandoned by God and they left God out of their lives. They lost their faith. But you know what? I've seen I think more people lose their walk with God, turn away from the Lord, and simply leave the Lord, fall to some second-rate position, or fall completely out of their lives when things were going good. How in the world could that possibly happen? Well, we've been talking about idolatry this week, and idols come in a lot of different forms. They're not just a statue or an image that you bow down to and worship in a religion. No, idols have a lot of different shapes in our life and a lot of different expressions as we become committed to with a love and an adoration of something or someone that we would, make a God substitute. I mean, heavens, we've got TV shows called American Idol where we recognize that we can become enamored with someone or something to the point that it is an idol. How does that happen in our lives? Well, James describes the way that we fall into sin. In the first chapter of James, he says, look, if anyone is tempted to do the wrong thing, you can't blame God. God isn't tempted to sin, and so God doesn't tempt anyone else. But what happens is this. We have our desires that get a hold of us. We get fixed on something that's like, I want that. I want to be able to do that. I want to go there. I want to have this. And when that focus gets a hold of us, it will lead us into sin. Because when that desire dominates in our lives, we'll abandon our values. We'll turn away from God. We'll push God to the side. We'll push other people to the side in order to get what we want, do what we want to do, have what we want to have. That's what leads us to sin. And James warns that when sin gets a hold of you, then it produces death. It will destroy your soul, your connection with God. It'll even take your life. And so it's a simple thing to fall into sin, and that is idolatry, where you pick up a God substitute in your life, a desire in a person or something or some pursuit that now becomes the dominant force in your life. And that priority shift will make God some second-rate player in your life or no player at all. The Lord warned his people through the prophet Hosea much the same way. In Hosea chapter 13, the Lord said, I brought you people out of Egypt. I took care of you, brought you to this land. I fed you and satisfied you. But the Lord said, when you got satisfied, you got proud and you forgot me. That's as simple as it is. I've been in that position of being struggling financially. So poor that there were times that my wife and I counted pennies to make sure we could go and get a loaf of bread or a pack of hot dogs. That's a terrible place to be and struggling financially in your life. Well, many people, though, when things get better, it's easy for us to, get really happy, to say, man, I've been so blessed. But then forget that it was God's blessing and become so caught up in the blessing that we don't want to lose that position. I don't want to lose the finances, the job, the position that I'm in. I want that. I want to keep that. And we fixate there with our desires in a way that now we're proud. We're proud of where we're at. We're working to keep it. And God gets forgotten. The fact that he blessed us in that is left to the side. And all of a sudden, this is the dominant desire of our lives. And again, I've seen many people lose their walk with God, lose their faith, and let God either completely out of their lives or like some second-rate player in their lives. Jesus warned us that if we were going to follow him, that we have to be all in. You got to deny yourself, take up your cross. And he said, if you try to hang on to your life saying, ooh, I like the blessing that I've got, I'm going to keep it. He said, you'll just throw your life away. But if you're willing to lose your life for me, there you're going to find it. Remember, it's just as tough to follow God when things are going good as when they're going bad. So let's put God in that first place in our lives and never let him play second fiddle. May God bless you today, and as you share his good news, may God make you a blessing wherever he takes you.